Every time I think of Michigan, that's kind of like what I think about, man. I don't know what it is, but it's another Hot 99ish brought to you by Phone Sites. You can go to phonesites.com/love and get started there. 14-day free trial. Our guest tonight on the Hot 99ish is Daryl Wizinsky. What's up,
going
Daryl?
on, my man?
What's up, man? Daryl's not a regular dude. You're really gonna enjoy this. You're gonna enjoy this session tonight, and the reason why is because Daryl just came out of left field, and he's been around the network for a while. But I'm gonna let him kind of jump in, and like I want you to share everybody like where you're from, who you're with, what's your vibe, and little known fact: Daryl is Stuman's #1 hater, or was at one point. I'll let you take it from there.
We'll get there. So I'm born and raised in Detroit. My parents are from Russia. I grew up in the ghetto. I'm straight from the ghetto. Welfare, cheese, food stamps, you name it. Gang member too. Badass kid growing up. So that, and then I was self-taught when I was 15 years old. This is going to age me really quick. I had a bulletin board service in my mom's basement with a computer where people would dial in and download adult pictures, and I had like 10 phone lines coming in my house. I had a bulletin board service, and people would send checks to the house because I didn't have money for clothes and shoes, and so I did that. And when I was about 17, about 16, 17, I got a job transferring CAD designs into CNC lathes, self-taught. And I used to get paid. I was like, man, I was so poor, but then I got these jobs. I was self-taught. At age 18, went to the military for almost 6 years, 5 years, 8 months. I'm a father, was a daughter. She's 32 years old. I raised her as a single father.
What? Hold up.
Yeah.
Daryl, hold up. No, you said you're going to age yourself. There's no way that you got a 32-year-old daughter.
No, not 32, shit. 23, okay. 23-year-old daughter.
I was like, dude, I don't know what's in the water in Russia, but it must have been really, really good.
Oh, no, I don't even drink anymore. We'll get to that shit in a minute. 23, and I got a 3-year-old grandson, so I'm a grandpa.
Awesome. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. Me too.
So. Thanks. So that's my storyline. So I was in that military, and then after that, I taught sales for a living. I taught finance, F&I. For those that know what F&I is, that's the best closer inside of a car dealership. They teach you. They're the ones that hit you over the head and make the dealership the money. So I taught that for a living. And then in 07, 08, I didn't like my job anymore. I hated it, and I got into real estate. And somebody said, Daryl, that you picked the wrong industry. My first year in real estate, I sold 75 homes, like some Aaron Wagner shit, like Aaron Wagner stuff. Yeah, 75 homes my first year. Didn't know anything about real estate.
What's the volume on that?
I don't know. Probably, probably at that time, because home prices were like reckless in Detroit. So probably about 12 million, 12, 15 million. First year out of the gate. Insane.
That's not bad. Like, what was it like? I'm sure there's a real estate agent watching this right now going, how in the hell did he do that? Like, like, what was that?
It was like, at that time, I was like, I had this brokerage, and he had a gimmick, right? And he was short sales, and that stuff doesn't really exist right now. And he had a gimmick, and at the end of the day, to be honest, let me backtrack, and I'll go fast forward. When I got out of the military, I did stunts on crotch rockets, like the movie Biker Boys and Torque. I did that, and I used to travel and book shows while I worked for teaching F&I, and people told me that you couldn't ride wheelies. You had to be born. It had to be born in your blood and all this and that. And I'm, whatever. So when I got to real estate, people were like, man, there's just no way. It's going to take you 3-5 years. Man, I got up in the morning. My ass was out of bed at 4:35 in the morning. I was in the office by 6:37. Man, I didn't go home till 10 or 11 at night. Sometimes I was there to 3 in the morning, just grinding. I remember there'd be days I'd write 10, 15 offers in one day. It was just insanity, like just trying to get deals accepted. And so real estate, I mean, the thing in real estate is, I'm going to say this, and this is going to kind of contradict the whole conversation. I believe in coaches, but I believe in a specific type of coach. I don't believe in a real estate coach, right? Because there's so much free shit on the internet when it comes to real estate that like you just got to do the work, right? A lot of people will read books. We talk about librarians know everything in the damn library, and nobody does nothing. So when in real estate, you just got to do the work. Find somebody who's a badass and follow them. Like the person who I followed, I annoyed the shit out of them 24/7. Like it's not really rocket science. Like people know, like, and trust. That's what they do. They know, like, trust you, right? You don't need to know what 2x4 is behind the damn drywall. Do they like the house or not? Do they like you? They're gonna buy a home from you. So yeah, 75 homes. It was just people like me. I got it. I asked questions. I wanted to know about. You know what it is? Is in car sales and deal, like you're kind of like you're closing people, right? Because you're trying to make money. You know what? If you just do the right thing in life is so much easier, right? Selling homes took that whole stigma, right? So
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Real estate agents, I mean, I don't want to say that they're a little more elevated than
yeah,
car sales guys, but like the really good ones, there are people that do give a shit about what they do, and it's not a blanket statement just for real estate agents. I think that's for
any industry,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
The problem is this. We're not going to get into a bunch of political shit tonight. We're not going to go down that road. But I will say this: that because I'm pretty positive I have a TV series coming out on Netflix. We'll leave it at that. And the intent behind the TV series show is to generate revenue for the media company, right? So they want that drama. So the stuff you see on TV for those TV shows in real estate, that's not really, at least what I do. I don't act like that. I know people act like that. Of course, there's idiots in every industry, but you have to be careful what the stigmas are, and just be conscious of that when you judge people, right? Because there's bad people in every industry: car industry, mortgage, real estate. There's bad people at the gas station. They could try to do an extra dollar. It is what it is. But yeah, it was like, nobody taught me anything. I asked for help, right? And I think people are so scared to say, hey, I need help, because it makes them look like they're weak. And me being a veteran, my life was a little different if I didn't ask for help. That might have been the end of my life. So I always ask questions wherever I went, and still to this day. And I dive deep into content. So real estate is great, and I will say this: at Apex executives or Break Free Academy, every person I know that is successful in some form, and we don't want to tie success to the word money. Success is happiness, but everybody who's successful has some form of real estate tied to them. Almost, it's like almost, it's almost like the concrete foundation. So, yeah. So that was the story. So let's just jump to Stuma, because you called it out. So we're in 2020. I think it's 2020. Yeah, 2020. So back then I saw Stuman, dude, dropping the F-bomb every 30 seconds. I thought he was cool, right? I got a sailor mouth. So I'm like, wow, like, who's this dude? And I'd play his videos. And then people would get on my ass about it, right? And they'd be like, dude, you can't talk like that. I'd have my broker coming to me, like, reprimanding me. And I said, well, what does that got to do with you? That's my social media. That's when Facebook, first was coming out. And man, so Steuben, it was like, I won't talk about who was around back then, because I don't know. But anyways, so I knew Steuben, and man, Steuben used to like my shit. I thought I was the coolest person. This was before he's validated and shit.
Before his blue check marked and everything.
Yeah, boy, that shit, right? One day he hits me up like, dude, are you riding or dying? Like, you riding with me? I got this coaching program. pay 25 grand. I'm like, are you out your freaking ass mind? Who the hell are you? Like, I'm like, dude, you're in sales like me. I'm a badass myself. And dude, I let my ego like get in the way too. And it was like, we were cool. He just like one day he hit me up and said, you know what? I'm going to go do this thing. Either you're with me or you're not. And I said, man, I'm not paying 25 grand. I said, what can the hell can you teach me for 25 grand? And up to this point, I never had a coach, never had any kind of training other than college in the military. Man, he unfriended me on Facebook. I was hurt. I was pissed. I was like, this MFer, right? So throughout the years, he'd do some cool shit and I'd watch him. I'd be like, man, I'm going to join, right? I mean, I'm going to join. I'd message him, hey, I'm going to join. All right. A week later, he'd be like, man, stop wasting my time. You ain't doing nothing. Get out of here. And that's when he'd like, so that was the younger years of Stewart. So Stewart didn't care. He'll let you know, right? So I think Stewart really wanted me to see me succeed, to be honest. In fact, I know he did, right? I just think at that time we had different levels of like how we deliver things, even him and I to this day. So I'd be like, man, fuck him. He deleted me. You know, I'm like, you know, I'd be like, I want, and then I seen like with Lambos, and I'm like, what in the hell? So when you start, because people, that's the problem with humans, is that we don't resonate success with what's in our mind necessarily. A lot of people are material. So I seen a little Lambos and said, what the hell's this dude doing? And I'm like, well, anybody could go buy a Lambo. I could go buy a Lambo selling houses. And man, they didn't have one, he had two, and he's like this. And I'm like, and then I was like, okay. So then I started really being a fucking hater, right? I was like, man, fuck him. You know, he's probably scamming somebody. That's the 25 grand. And man, there was some dude that lived in Dallas. I won't mention his name. And I hit him up. I'm like, what do you know about the Stewman dude? Man, fuck him. You could learn that shit anywhere. Cool, right? So, what happens? Man, then Stewman just started, like, his knowledge, dude, it just started, like, it started resonating, like, everything. I was like, man, this makes all the sense in the world. And I was in Sales Talk by Pros, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just started watching stuff in there. It's kind of like, I love that platform because it's kind of free spirited, right? It's not for the weak hearted in there. If you got thin skin, stay the hell out of that room. So then I just was like, wow. It was like, it's shitty to say that his success by the things he had made me stop and say, wow. And then when I started listening to his content, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I thought it was a room where a bunch of people came together and built funnels and shit, right? And then I started seeing Ryan around a bunch of people who I like, Billy Jean, right? Ed Milet. When those people aren't people that just let people around, right? You're not hanging out with those people if you're a douche or if you don't bring value. So then I was like, man, this is the funny part. So that was my mind. I was like, man, he did something. And I was like, man, I want to get around Ryan again. At this point, I think Ryan was just like, you know, like fed up with me playing games. So I ran into Ed Milet down in Laguna, my second home. I was there with my girlfriend. And she knew Ed, and Ed knew her. So I'm like, how do you know Ed? So, you know, my girlfriend goes, oh, and she was like, you know, her head got a million times bigger. Like, Ed knows me. He doesn't know you. I'm like, what the fuck? So Ed's like, you need to go to your boy Stewman's program. He's like, don't even come talk to me about my program. Go to Stewman's. So the rest is pretty much history as far as the Stewman and them. And you know what, I've hated on a lot of people that were successful. I think we all do at some point. I think you know what it is we get jealous. We're like, you know, we think it's easier. The reality in success is it's easier to criticize than give somebody props for the hard work they put in, right? Because success is not easy. That shit every day you gotta get up. It's like it's like being underground and clawing your way out every morning you wake up. It's like being buried alive and crawling every day. And it's easier to talk shit about people than to actually be humble and actually figure out how they did it, because they went through a lot. And I think that's why, and I'll say this, I think that's why people who are successful keep people at bay a little bit, right? Because they want people to know what they went through, and they want people to learn it and earn it. Because if people don't experience that, they're never going to understand what it takes to really get to success. And I think a lot of people are like, they want you to tell them how to do it. But the funny thing is, you can tell somebody to do it, they're still not going to do it, right? They're going to try to cheat the system. And so I hated on some top agents around me. I was like, man, they're buying leads. Well, if I thought about how they're getting the money to buy the leads, they had to earn the money to be successful to get the money. So I was one of Ryan's haters at the, and like, I wasn't really a hater. I just didn't understand it. I didn't know that he had a vision. And man, part of me wishes that I would have stayed. I would have been along for the ride for the 8 years. Him and I interviewed him for my book, and he said, man, 8 years ago, imagine where, I said, you know what? We got 8 more years to go. So, so that was Ryan. That's my story with Ryan, So from a gang member, from a kid running a porn website in my mom's basement at 15, to a military person, to teaching sales, to being in real estate. And now I just did a merger with a company that's like in 20 countries. And I took my real estate company to a company called EXP, and stocks and revenue sharing, all kinds of crazy shit, just insane. And I got a badass team. I mean, well, I got people from 18 to 70 years old on my team. I got 60-year-old women cracking $3-4 million a month in pending deals. Man, I mean, $3-4 million in deals. They're doing like 5-7 deals. And you know what? They're out there helping the other agents in the team. They're like, yo, do it like this, do it like that. So yeah, it was like crazy, and I just, all this happened, like everything changed. Like, man, I don't want to make it sound like I was like a degenerate. I had I had a good life. But like a lot changed in August. I got COVID. I got engaged, right? I got engaged, had COVID when I got engaged, gave it to my fiance. Man, I don't know. I probably should just admit it instead of trying to sugarcoat the bullshit. I was probably an alcoholic, a drunk, like, man, I drink every fucking day. Bad too. Like, I functioned, but man, I got COVID. I was fat as hell, dude. I lost 47 pounds in 3 months.
Just congratulations, by the way. And a quick story too. The first time I met Daryl in person, he walked in the room and he looked around and he goes, all right, I got another question. Like, what's up with you guys? You guys are all like fit and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that to me, and then you're like, you know what? I got to get my ass in shape. And
yeah,
fucking 40 plus pounds later, man, you did like,
hey, what happened is, though, you know what really happened is, well, I was like, man, I'm as fat as Judas in the room, and Ryan started laughing because Ryan was standing there. Well, and then you said, here, come over here and take all these books. Like there, it said, here, take these books home and read them. And I read the G Code. And now we're gonna hit on that. That was like instrumental. And then I read that. And then I said, you know what, I gotta stop drinking. And I just want more for my life. The funny part is I was one of those lucky dudes who never got a DUI, never went to jail, never hurt anybody. Man, so that day, I don't even really remember anything about the first day at Break Free Academy other than just meeting you, your energy. And I remember Amy, because she came in and I was like, you have to understand, my fiance is a little over the top too, and she's like crazy, and she's good in real estate and everybody loves her. So when Amy walked in, I was like, this is going to be Tammy too. And dude, when she started talking, I was like blown away, right? And I was like, now I get it why Ryan's with her. So, because I didn't know her, and then and then the G code. So I don't remember really anything else too much from the first day I was there. And then Thomas just told me, he's like, just stay humble, no matter what, just stay humble, because people are gonna watch you. And he's like, you remember what you know, no, you don't have nothing to prove here. Just stay humble. So I read the G code, and it wasn't easy for me to read because I just don't have the attention span. And so I read it and I just stuck to it. And I just quit drinking and I worked out, and next thing I know, I was losing. But the thing is, well, hit on it. People want instant results. It didn't happen right away, man. It took like 3 weeks and nothing was happening, right? Except for I wasn't drinking, you know. And sorry, my phone went off there. I don't know why. So then I think like the weight just started falling off. And I messaged Ryan. Ryan responded to me, like I asked him some stuff. Man, I was like, okay, things could be better. You know, things could be a lot better. And then I came to Apex or Break Free Academy the next month. And Ryan walked in the room and he's like, you guys are gonna write a book. So I'm a habitual procrastinator, right? And then I try to lie to people and lie to myself, like, oh, I'm just trying to make sure this shit's perfect, right? People are like, shut the fuck up, Daryl, already, and just do something. Stop talking about it. So I own a company called divorcerealestate.com for 4 years and did jack shit with it. Jack shit. Something that anybody in real estate would die to own, right? And I owned all the pieces to the puzzle, and nobody else could get to them. I did nothing with them. I didn't even try to sell them. That's how much of a procrastinator I was. So Ryan's like, you're going to write a book. I'm like, man, I can barely type on the keyboard. No, I can really type, but so basically I go, he tells us how to write a book. I'm like, there is no damn way it's this simple, right? So the thing is, what I learned with Ryan is if you ask him a piece of information and he gives it to you, you're basically validating you're going to do something. So if you have no intent of doing it, don't ask him, because he's not going to judge you, but you're going to be held accountable, right? So he asked me I asked him for the editor's number. I asked Thomas because I wanted to see if they were giving the same answer, and I called the editor. Man, so that day I walked out of Apex or that lunch. I said, man, I'm writing a book. Divorce Real Estate's about to be real. So then I met John Savage, and he's like, man, I'll do your website for you. I'm like, man, for 5 years I couldn't get my shit together, and all of a sudden I come here, and one day I'm writing books, getting websites together. We're about to do this, and then you meet Jeff, and Jeff is like this genius when it comes to business. Like, so I'm like, I'm on lunch. I pick up the phone, I call Tammy, like, I'm about to write a book. She's probably thinking, what the fuck is wrong with you, right? You're not gonna write no book. And she's like, yeah, I always wanted to write a book too. So I was surprised. She was very supportive. So I get back to Detroit, right? Mind you, at my real estate office, I built these walls and shit 2 years ago that weren't even finished. And I come in, I'm like, I'm writing a book, like they're drywall, and they're like, there's no finish. I'm like, I'm writing a book. They're like, yeah, just like those walls you finished, Daryl. I'm like, I'm a new man. And they're like, yeah, okay. You know, they're like, yeah, okay. They're like, they're just like, keep making sure you keep paying the Zillow bill and keep giving us leads, you know, right? They don't get like, just keep doing what we know you're good at. You wanna go play hobby, write a book, you know? Man, hell. So I got back, got John Savage hit me up right away. Bam, website was built. Courtney hit me up. Book. or not. Yeah, it was who's Courtney's the pod. There's Courtney
Yeah,
and
yeah, Courtney.
Courtney,
Courtney's making content. Yeah.
and then the editor. What's her name?
Hillary.
Who? Courtney and whoever the. And she's gonna kill me over this shit.
Hillary Jastrom.
Hillary, yeah, Hillary,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm gonna have brain fart ADD. Hillary. So all this went down. I'm like, man, this is easy, right? So Thomas calls me like, hey, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, man, I don't got shit to talk about. I'm busy working, like writing books. So man, I was just like, wow. And then I was like, man, Apex like really changed my life. I didn't have to go to alcohol rehab, right? I finished divorce real estate. I finished the merger. Divorce real estate was 5 years of procrastination. The merger with my real estate company, 2 years of procrastination. And we're talking like big people in a corporate, publicly traded stock market company is annoyed with me after 2 years, and they're ready to cut ties with me. And I go to Apex, and literally within 2 months, I get 5 years worth of shit done in literally 2 months, like night and day. And I never ever smiled. I can't even remember the last time I smiled in life. I mean, even as a kid, I didn't have a good life. So, and I talk a little bit about that in my book, Divorce Real Estate, but it's coming out in January. But now people are like, you're always smiling. And to be honest, my employees love me. So a lot of good stuff came from Apex. And when I went there, I was like, I never seen anything like this. It was about your mind. It was about physical. It was about relationships. It was about business, but nothing. It wasn't that hoorah. Like you can go to a thing and you get all excited. This is actually practicality in all aspects. And nobody was judging you, right? In our private group, we have people who've been through some bad things, and everybody jumps in like, is like right there. So this was nothing like I've never experienced in my life. And you would have never, ever caught me admitting I was an alcoholic or anything like that. And so it was like life changing, and we're just getting started. I'm like, now people actually listen to me and like value what I say. And like people are listen to about divorce real estate. When I came there, I think, the first question was like, how do we sell divorce real estate? Like, how do we sell it? That's all I want to know. How do we sell this company for $100 million? Even if I would have sold the company for $100 million, I probably would have been dead with, a liver problem, So then I did. It was just, that was my story. So, I made the merger to EXP. I'm always looking for great agents. I want to help them. I want to help them like how Ryan helped me, how you helped me, how Thomas helped me, Drewby. Dude, Drewby's another amazing person, dude. Dude, he was annoyed the shit out of me when this last time around I said it was go time. I think Ryan's like, I'm not dealing with this shit. So I'm gonna let Drewby deal with him. Then I got on the phone with you. So man, like I don't think people, I don't know if there's other programs out there like what we're in. I just genuinely don't know. But I mean, it saved my life. I really believe that because there was parts of me where I laid on this couch at my house, and dude, I would just do the horrible thoughts that were in through my mind. It was just horrible. Like, everybody's like, oh, you got it made. I was like, man, if you just only knew, it's not that easy, So when I joined Apex, I was like, man, I quit drinking. I was just like, wow, there's so many cool people. And what's crazy? There's so many, I think there's 50 people, or at that time there was 50. We're so diverse, and everybody somehow comes together. You would just think that there would be a difference where people rub people wrong. It just doesn't happen.
I always tell people that too. And you said something to me when we were in person, when I met you, the first time, it was the second time, I think. And you had talked about you referencing difficulty, like how people perceive that you have it made, but you were the guy that was toting the note and paying for the bills. And,
Yeah.
these are people outside of your employees. These were your homies, so to speak, or people that were friends.
Hmm.
And, when the bill stops getting paid or you decide to level up, where are those
Yeah.
people now? Right. And
Mhm.
that stuck with me, Daryl. Like that really, like, I was like, shit. I'd like, because we talked about some other things too. Your house in Florida and things like that. And, from the surface, you'd be like, man, that dude does have it made. Why is he bitching about stuff? But understanding where you came from
Mhm.
and like just moving forward, like it's, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because there are a lot of people out there that do have it made, and they, you know, there's something that's not right though, right? From the outside looking in, they got the perfect life. It's charmed. And then, but there's always, it just speaks to like what you're talking about. It's like, I wasn't fulfilled. It's probably better to have a smaller circle of friends that don't expect you to pick up their tab, right? You
Well,
know?
the thing was is too is you like a lot of stuff I bought and did, it pushed me financially to the point, right? Like not there's a lot of people who have a lot of things, but it pushed me to my breaking point a lot of times, and I was always trying to make others happy, and um, it was weird. It's been weird because over the last couple of years, um, my circle has gotten smaller and smaller, right? But what was weird was, and that led to major chaotic depression. I mean, when I say depression, it was shit that would get you locked up in an insane asylum. Um, but when I went to Apex, I was like, well, I'm at rock bottom anyway, so let's just the only place we can go up from is here. And I didn't even care about the Miami house anymore. I didn't care about shit. I didn't care about my club. I didn't care about anything. I was just like, okay, let's just rebuild the foundation the correct way this time around. And whatever's meant to be will be. And I said I need to have a solid group of people around me. Now that doesn't mean that my employees and my staff aren't great people and that they're not on my level. I just needed people who shared visions of like wanting good things in life and good positive vibes and helping others. I'm big into helping others. So what's weird about that is circling back when I left Apex no in October is I was headed back to Laguna to meet with the TV series people for my TV show. And well, we all know Aaron um, Wags. So Aaron Wags is good friends with Dan Fleischman, and Dan Fleischman started liking my stuff on Facebook. So I hit Fleischman up, and Fleischman was holding the Thrive event with Cole Hatter, and Fleischman's like, "Hey, come on down to the event for free." And this is an expensive ass program, like every big hitter is there, like so. I messaged Ryan. I'm like, dude, I'm about to go to Thrive in California, and he's like, let them know that you're one of my people, and you roll with Apex and Break Free Academy, and I'll make sure that you're taken care of. So when I got there, dude, it was like wow. So I didn't have a lot of friends before, and it was like I was worried that when I went up hit the chain a little bit or leveled up that I wouldn't have people who were good, but actually the people who I was around shared the same vision that I actually had inside of me. And I was like I was back happy again. So it wasn't just like I could be happy at Apex. It was like I got to other people too, and it was weird because I wasn't at Apex and these people were saying the same thing. And then I understood why Ryan was. And then when I came home, man, people were just like, at first, people clown me. Like, oh, you're goofy. You're part of a cult. And then I just said, fuck it, dude. I mean, people didn't like me before. I don't give a fuck if they like me now. I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to do. I'm going to live for my daughter and my grandson and my parents. And, I'm just going to keep proving people wrong. And now Man, I tell you the truth. Like I'm very humble, but I will tell you this: my inbox on social media is crazy. Lately, I'm like my phone blows up. People are like, "Hey, we want some advice," and I'm like, "Man, I said I got so much more to go. Like, there's so much more for me to learn, and I just, dude, I'm so grateful for everything, and then you had this thing where I could come on here and I was like, man, I could share some of this with some people because there's so many people they're at the rock bottom. And I get this. I'm going to throw this out there and I hope Stuman doesn't get mad about it. You know, I think part of the reason why I stayed away from Stuman's program was the scarcity mindset about money. It's not cheap, right? It requires a commitment. And I think Stuman does that for a reason. But I'm sure there's other different programs inside Apex people could start in. Um, but and but I would say by far, for me now, it's not about the money, right? This program will help me overall. I couldn't even put a value on it, like like I mean, my business is not double, but it's come a far way in 2 months. I'm mentally a better person. My employees aren't, they're like, wow, like we see the change, So when people are looking and thinking like, man, do I really have the money? Man, I don't think there's any amount of money you could put on bettering yourself. And it's not some bullshit program. I've been to some hoorah shit in Vegas, right? Like, oh, cool. So, yeah, dude, that was a little deep for me. I was about to cry for a second.
No, but I love that, man, because like you said a couple things earlier about being a chronic procrastinator, but you collapsed 5 years worth of work and got it done in like 3, 4 months. And that's phenomenal. And that's like, weight loss. You quit drinking. Have you completely quit drinking or you just like slowed down to like,
No, it was like I was sitting in the bar and I was with my fiance. I said, you know what? I said, I'm done drinking. Now, mind you, she's seen me have some spats and some fits through COVID and drunk, and so she said, okay. So I just flat out just stopped eating bread. I stopped eating. Man, I'll tell you, my diet was chicken, hummus, salad, eggs, turkey, steak, and shrimp. And I had 3 places in Michigan I would go to, restaurants, and I'd get the same meals and I would just rotate. I stopped drinking. People would be like, here's a drink. I went so far to go to the strip club just to test myself with my friends because a couple of friends of mine own them and they have good food contrary to people's beliefs, but they really do in here in Michigan. And I went there because they serve steak and lobster for like $40 and a 12 ounce lobster tail. So I went there and ate. And I drink water, lemon, water, lemon, water. I was drinking a gallon of water a day, and after about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, man, you could put 100 bottles of Tito's in front of me. I wouldn't even open that bottle up. Nah, I I just want to accomplish, like, I wrote one book and then the editor's like, oh, you got to write 2 at the same time. I'm like, I started laughing. I'm like, oh man, and John and his wife, we when Wags took us to dinner, which that was mind blowing. Wags is like one of the most humble guys I've ever met, right? And I didn't even know what his position was or who he was. And knowing I was at Apex, just so you know, when Wags starts talking, you feel dumber by the second. He like that guy. So when he bought us dinner, and Savage, John, it's not his last name, it's not Savage, but John and his wife told me.
yeah.
Yeah, they talked to me, and I was like, wow. So at that time, I didn't feel alone in the world, and you couldn't put a drink in front of me. I mean, you could put one in front of me, right? Um, and I just stayed, dude. Stayed the course. 75 hard. The only thing about 75 hard that sucks is the bathroom and trying to get that second workout in. Like that's about it. Everything else is like, it's a joke, right? And to be honest, all this weight loss, I'll be like, all bullshit aside, I didn't really work out that hard. I mean, I did. Man, a girl could have did more than me in my workout. Really, all it was just diet and that drinking and drinking that water, that gallon of water a day.
A gallon of water makes a huge difference. I mean, if you don't mind pissing the bed a couple times, you know.
You know what the fucked up thing is? Is drinking makes you procrastinate because you're tired, right? You're tired. I don't care. It's a depressant. You have a drink, you get tired, you get relaxed. Man, like I came to work today. They said, "Who is this Daryl?" I had some new shit all drawn up on Photoshop. Like, oh, look at this cool stuff I drew. So that was like the thing, the procrastination. I was like, oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And you know, I always thought like if I talked about it, like somehow it would mysteriously get done. People were just, you know, the problem that I learned with procrastination is it's no different than lying. People start not to believe what you're saying. Like, is this shit real? Like, is it ever gonna get done? And so you got to be careful what you do and what you say. Like, if you say you're gonna do something, you got to do it, and you got to do it quickly because the world's watching. You know? So
I love that. I love that, man. And real quick, and I know we're about at time, but I appreciate you coming on and sharing all of that. And there are a lot of like quiet moments there. It's probably going to be one of the realest. I mean, all of our sessions are real, but like this is the kind of stuff that if you're watching this, this is what people are going through on a regular basis. So no matter where you are, like Daryl talked about being poor. Daryl talked about saying, fuck your excuses and doing whatever was required. He talked about, you know, the essence of being a hater, being an alcoholic, you know, serving our country. Thank you, sir. And you know, and then continuously reinventing yourself, you know, getting into the financial space and then moving into real estate. Now you're CEO of a company and now you're getting ready to a couple of companies. So you've got multiple houses in different places. And that's like, if you were to look at the time frame on that, that's taking you well over 20 years. Yeah.
yeah. A lot of failures throughout 20 years, which people don't want to fail. I'm okay with failing. Somehow it's going to always be okay.
It always works out. So let's talk about the G code real quick, and we'll kind of
let's talk about that. That's the best book I ever read. So let's go through this.
Okay. G1 is our gratitude. What are 5 things or 5 people or just anything you're grateful for right now?
Man, you know, I'm grateful for God, number 1, right? God aligned everything. 2, I'm grateful that the people around me that genuinely love me stay by my side. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my health. I should have said that for like God, health, dude. I feel like $1 million. I'm grateful for that. That's 3. I'm grateful that I'm grateful for being poor, right? And I'm definitely grateful for knowing depression, right? I'm grateful for knowing that. So I am grateful for those because you know what, the depression and being poor, because they let me know that that was probably the worst I could ever get in life, and now everything else is easy. It is easy. So I'm grateful for those. So that's the first part. Right now, that's what I'm grateful for.
I love it. How about your genetics? What are you doing?
Man, 2 workouts a day, water, staying. You know, people are like, when are you coming off 75 hard? I'm like, I don't even know it's a possibility. So that, you know, I'm taking care of myself. I'm gonna get some things done that I want to get done. I'm like, some things that I can't fix on my own by working out, some plastic surgery, but I'm gonna get that just so I feel better with myself. And so I'm doing that. I'm staying on the path of the workout, right? Now I get why people who are almost 100% of people who work out are successful, and all the people who are successful have a workout. So I'm working out twice a day, 75 hard, my gallon of water. That'll probably never go away. So genetics, it's a regiment, right? It's never gonna stop for me. That's me. And I've done a lot of damage to my body from the military, from drinking, from stunt riding. So I want to repair what I can. So my genetics, my workout, my diet, and don't get me wrong, I want to eat some horrible shit every day.
Don't we all? Kit Kats call my name all the time from the freezer.
What else on the G code, my man? What's the
Yeah.
next one?
And then let's see, we've got our grind. So you just completed a merger.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is Thomas wrote this shit on Facebook yesterday, dude, and talking about project managers. I said, man, I get about 50 of those. I get some ideas in my head, grind, dude. Man, you got to execute. If you're going to do, man, what's the worst you could do? Fuck it up. You didn't even have anything anyway. So grind, just fucking execute. So mergers, did that with EXP, while working with Netflix, and then I'm getting my TV series going. That, man, I'm working with a bunch of badass people in the real estate world on divorce real estate. And I'm working with Jose, and on top of it, I was able to get Jose on board with me. Like, that was amazing. So, we're working on the marketing with Jose. So the grind on that, and then so we have Elegant Homes with the merger with EXP. We got divorce real estate. We got the book. Man, you know what? Somebody in executives and him and I have been chit chatting about this idea we got. Like, we're like, let's go do this now. So I'm telling you, the grind, it never stops. If something's not popping in your brain, like Elon Musk, that's my favorite person in the world, by the way. If your brain's not going off with new ideas, man, you're doing something wrong. If you're not finding solutions to the problems in this world, man, the grind every day. Man, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna do something. And I might sit in front of this computer, messing around with a coding program for 6 hours, and I might not accomplish shit. But you know what? I'm gonna figure it out. So that's my grind. That's my grind. People are always gonna hate. Sooner or later, if your grind is strong enough, anything's possible. Who thought cars would be driving themselves?
I love it. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. That's exactly it. And then let's talk about your group. You already talked about your group downsizing a little bit, but you also referenced that you got people that are more in line with what your visions are than what you thought before. So who's in your group?
Man, well, obviously you, Drewby, Thomas, Ryan, John. So those are all people you can go on Facebook and find. It's Sales Talk or them. But outside of the norm at Apex, because it's hard for me to, at least right now, it's hard for me to visualize having friends that don't share the same visions as me. It's kind of just hard, and it doesn't mean that people aren't good people, and I don't want people to think I'm above. I think I'm above them. My group is that, man. I'm a big man. Aaron Wagner and Dan Fleischman. Whenever Fleischman speaks, it's kind of like Ryan for me now. Ryan and I are I would consider Ryan a good friend. If I said, hey, I really need this, Ryan knew that I wouldn't just be bullshitting anymore. So when Dan Fleischman and I talk, and when I message him about things, he's on this level, we're on some good level shit with Dan Fleischman and Cole Hatter and Eric Thomas. Man, if I could sit down in the room with Eric Thomas, I would, man, I would pay $100,000 just to, I know that's possible, but legit, Eric Thomas, that guy's from Detroit, right? Dude, Eric Thomas, I don't know him yet, but I met, Cole and Fleischman, and that's my group, and Thomas, and and I have a couple business owners here in Michigan that will just stay quiet about what they do for me, but they're good people, and and they come to me and they ask me questions now. So my group is just like-minded people who want to help others that are humble. That's my group. like-minded people who want to help others, who are humble. You could help others and be an asshole. Man, I don't got time for that. I was a big enough asshole for 10, 15 years. Humble people, like-minded, who want to help others and solve problems and have fun. I think we forget about fun a lot. I want to have fun. I'm grinding now, but I want to have fun soon. I'm having fun doing this, but that's my group. Like-minded people who are humble, who want to help others. Yeah.
Good place to be. We need to add some karaoke and dancing
Man.
and some alcohol-free pina coladas.
Oh shit! I don't care, dude. But people want to get drunk around me. It's cool. I just know I love drinking. Like I know I love the way it tastes. So it's like yeah, it's cool. I got my energy drinks and my gallon of water with lemon juice. Listen, I'll have fun. I'm having the same amount of fun as everybody else. I'm with you, dude. I just like I don't know who the hell's seeing this video.
Everybody in Sales Talk with Sales Pros will see it. So it'll be a replay, repeat, rinse and repeat. So I think this is a great testament, man. And I can't thank you enough. Like, congratulations on doing the work that you did too. Thanks for when's your book's coming out in January, is that correct?
Yeah, it's still the title's still a work in progress. It's going to be something along the lines of engagement, marriage, and divorce. A real estate timeline or something like that, but it's going to be something along the lines, but it's geared around how we fuck up even before we get married, right? And before we even get engaged, and it centers around real estate. But the real, and I'll just drop this tidbit on you, is that where we all fuck up is that we think that we're about to get, we're like in love and all this. But I don't think people establish their non-negotiables with their significant other, and people don't get their shit in line. And the real problem is the foundation is not poured from the get-go, and people go down this road, and then in 5, 7, 10 years, people are mad at each other, and they don't even really know why they're mad. They're just mad, and that's what my book talks about: is where did things go wrong in the beginning, and then what does the process look like through the whole cycle? And then the biggest part, which is really screwed up, is that we often involve families, and then we have kids, and it's just a vicious bad cycle, and it leads to alcohol, drugs, financial abuse, physical abuse. So tentatively the book's name was Divorce Real Estate, but then once I started digging deep, I was like, wow. So we're still working on the title, but that comes out in January. Elegant Homes Realty is my real estate company. Then we have Divorce Real Estate. And then I have a podcast, A Road to New Beginnings, which focuses on every aspect in life that, so that's what I got going on. And other than that, man, you know what? I'll say this. If somebody has a depression, a drinking problem, man, you can hit me up anytime, because I didn't have that. I didn't know who the hell I could talk to. But you know what? It made it night and day. When I could call Thomas or the doc, I called the doc, because I wanted to talk to him from Apex. But you know what? You can pick the phone up and call me anytime, dude. I get it. I don't care if you're broke, poor. I don't give a shit. Just call me, We'll make time for you. Because it's important. There's not a lot of people out there,
Yeah, they need your help. So you can take that to the bank too, what Daryl just said. So the solid dude right in front of you. He already told you. Everything you can. So it's not much more you need to know. So I love that you were here, man, and I can't wait to see you. I'll be seeing you soon. And
yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I would like to fly into Houston and see you, and then maybe backtrack up to Dallas. We'll figure it out though. But Sales Talk by Pros, we got a solid group of people. That's a lot of people in that group.
We do. Yeah. And we still got room in Apex. So make sure you join us. Hot 99 is brought to you by phone sites. You can build a landing page, a website in 5 minutes or less. Hell, you can build a brand new fucking life if you want. Phonesites.com/love. You got people like Daryl on the network right here to catch you like a big motherfucking net. We love you. We want the best for you. And we want you to be here with us. So that's it, man.